What's up, party people, and welcome back. This is the series where I take every Street Fighter 6 character from day one all the way to Master Rank. This is a fun and effective way for me to cope mental. This and I hope to make you laugh and learn along the way. Every 20 minutes game and every minute 5-minute break to help improve learning efficiency. Usually I supply one of those for you at the end of these videos, but not today, because today we are at our last character in the How To Day 1 2 Master Series. It's crazy. It feels like I've been doing it forever, but it's really only been a year with, like, quite a bit of off time in between, if we're being completely honest, but that's besides the point, because today we are looking at Juri. Why is she the last character I chose on this list? Well, because I've made Juri for most of this game, not right when it came out, but pretty much most of this game since it's been out. This has been my main character, so that's why I wanted to save her for last. So, what's the first thing I'm going to do to learn Juri whenever I pick up Juri is going to be her combo trials. Why do we do the combo trials first, you might ask yourself. Well, so the combo trials I like to look at is if you ever pick up a book and you turn the book to the back, there's like a paragraph or two on the back of the book telling you what that book's all about, you know? And when you go to the bookstore and you pick up a book and you do that, you decide like, oh, that sounds interesting, I'm going to buy this book. Or, oh, that doesn't sound interesting, I'm not going to buy this book. That's essentially the idea with the combo trials. Combo trials give us valuable information about the characters, mainly their special moves. Special moves are essentially a character's identity in a fighting game. You know, they have normals and unique attacks, but usually, you know, you can tell what a character wants to be doing or figure it out, at least to some degree, by what their special moves do or what they can do with their special moves. Now, you don't got to finish all the combo trials, but I recommend, you know, seeing if you can, how many you can do. It's different for every character. You might want to go down the list and play every character's combo trial. That's what I do. And some might come a lot easier than others. You might fly through some, and you might struggle with others, and then you can kind of tell how your personal like muscle memory and playstyle is built around. You might fly through a character's combo trials that you never thought you would. I remember whenever I was starting out and I did Juri's combo trials, I was like, wow, this shit's free, you know, this is like, it just flows with me. But I've played Juri since Street Fighter 4. She's a totally different character now, you know what I mean, but still, it's just that bit of familiarity does go a long way. Now that we've done combo trials and finished all of Juri's combo trials, there's going to be 4 key fundamentals that I'm going to focus on, that, I do with every single character. These are the 4 key fundamentals I use to get to Master Rank. It doesn't matter the character, it doesn't matter the game, honestly, but we're going to go over them in a bit of detail right here. So our number 1 key fundamental is slow down and enjoy the game. There's too many people in that feedback loop, too many people in that echo chamber. This game sucks because you heard one pro player say it, then another pro player say it, and they're like, yada, 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 this game sucks. This game's a lot of fun. There's a reason why it's the most played fighting game in the world. There's a reason why it's not considered just a fighting game anymore and considered a game, you know what I mean? Like, up there with, like, actual any other esport type of game now. There's a reason for it for this game. This game is spectacular, incredibly well balanced, very intuitive. It's just difficult, and people piss and moan when they can't just beat everyone's ass for free, you know? They actually have to think and try now, and it's like, oh, wow. No, I'm just being facetious, but you know how that is. So yeah, slow down and enjoy the game. It's really important, you know? Nobody's holding a gun to your head telling you have to play Street Fighter 6. If you don't like it, just because I say it's fun doesn't mean you're going to have fun playing it. If you don't like this game, guess what? Go play something else, please. You know, your time's valuable. Whatever little time we have on this earth, you should be using on, especially when you're playing video games, you know what I mean? Video games are supposed to be fun. You should be playing video games for fun, and if you're not having fun playing a video game, you should be doing something else, you know what I mean? It's like, don't waste your time, you know? It's supposed to be fun. If you're a newer player and you're losing a lot and you're having trouble beating people, there's a way still you can have fun. The first, I don't care what rank you are, but the first thing you gotta do is be able to laugh at yourself, because like, this is a huge, that's a huge thing. That's why you see people rage quitting all the time in this game, is because their egos are massive and they don't think, like, either they're mad at themselves or they don't think that they should lose to other players, whatever. You're gonna lose to other players. It doesn't matter. Somebody could be so much worse than you in this game. It doesn't even matter, dude. We're playing a video game. You could lose to anybody. It's you know, It doesn't matter. And you got to learn to laugh at yourself. If you do lose, it's like, oh shit, I'm dead. Ho ho. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, dude. If you can learn how to laugh at yourself, you're going to get over the ego thing that everyone seems to bring into fighting games with them. And that's why they're breaking shit and punching walls, because they suck and they don't want to admit it. And they can't beat scrubby tactics because they don't know how to lab, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just learn how to laugh at yourself. But outside of laughing at yourself, what you could do is, instead of playing to win all the time, instead of playing for points, you know, instead of trying to scrub people out for points, you should play to learn and play to get better. You shouldn't want to scrub people out. Scrubbing people out might work here and there, but it's just going to teach you a bunch of bad habits in the long run. And you're going to have to unlearn them to actually get good at the game. So instead of, you should just play to learn and play to get better. You shouldn't even care about winning, honestly. Just play to learn and play to get better. Winning will come later. You know, it's not a big deal. Just play to learn, play to get better. Don't worry about points. That's so important for all ranks. You know, people tie their self-worth to their points in a video game, thinking like, oh, you have to reach master rank, otherwise you're not good. It doesn't matter, dude. It's all our own journey. What matters is having fun. We're playing a video game here. That's our number one. And now our number two is basic execution. I'm talking about basic execution. In this guide, I might do a little bit more on accident, just because I've played Juri for a long time and I have a lot of muscle memory for it. But I'm going to try my best to keep it as simple as I possibly can. And by that, I mean, in Street Fighter 6, it keeps it really intuitive as far as, like, what kind of combos you need to learn. Even if you're on Modern, it does it for you, you know what I mean? You just auto combo with a light, a medium, or a heavy. You kind of, if you're not using Modern, you want to use Classic. That's what I recommend, honestly. But unless you're a total brand new player to play Modern, it doesn't matter. Like I said, it really doesn't matter. Just play to learn, play to get better. But, like, so in this guide, I'm just going to cover a light combo for light punishes, a medium combo for medium, heavy combo for heavy. And the reason for that is because this game, like I said, it's very intuitive. If your opponent makes a mistake, one of these combos will be to punish for it, you know what I mean? If it's just a small window to punish, you're going to want to do your light combo, you know? If it's something that's a bit of a bigger window, you know, you want to do your medium punish to make them pay for it a little bit more. If they make a really big mistake, like you block an uppercut or a super, then you want to go for your heavy combo. You know what I mean? Get the damage off that way. That's, you know, that's just how it is intuitively. A small mistake, small punish. Medium mistake, medium punish. Big mistake, heavy punish. Outside of that, I just get a combo for Crumple off of Drive Impact and Wall Splat off of Drive Impact, because they're not the same for every character. Juri, it's pretty easy, but yeah, they are not the same for every character, so I kind of just want to, while I'm doing the initial steps of learning a character, I want to see what works off of that, just so I don't make a mistake later on down the line. And after that, I just want, I need something to punish drive reversal also. If you aren't aware of drive reversal, we'll get into it a little bit more, but it's a system mechanic that any character can use. A lot of characters without invincible reversals will use this. And you need a 6-frame move to punish it. Frame data is not important to know at the start, so don't stress out about that. But you do want to find a move that's 6 frames to punish drive reversal. Most characters have a medium button that'll do this. A lot of characters will have like a command grab, something along those lines. If you really have no idea, you should just look at my guides, because every single guide, no matter what character you play, I tell you what can punish a drive reversal, so that way, you know, I do your homework for you, so check that out. But yeah, those are, I don't want to do any fancy combos. A lot of guys will comment on these videos like, oh, you can do the skibbity whoop into the bebop and the rock steady. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to do the skibbity whoop and the bebop into the rock steady. I want to do 3 jabs into a special move and then go on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to do all this complicated stuff. I'm trying to keep it as simple as I possibly can, so anyone could realize that anyone could reach Master Rank with any character, and you don't need fancy combos. You just need basic execution. It's really important too, because when you get in that situation, like I was saying, where you get those punishes, you don't want to think, okay, oh, I got this hit, now I got to do the skibbity whoop into the bebop and the rock steady, and then I got to call Miley Cyrus and come in like a wrecking ball and twerk on him like Ice Spice. Oh, and then if that hits, then I have to cancel into the dust cancel and hit him with the bean and cheese burrito 5-layer. You know what I mean? You don't want to, no, I just want like, oh, he made a mistake, boom, 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 light punish, boom, 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 medium punish, boom, 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 heavy punish. Not have to think about it, you know, I want to feel, I don't want to think. Because the second you start thinking about the skibbity whoop and ice spice while you're in the middle of a combo, you're going to drop it. You know what I mean? You just want muscle memory to kick in, you just want to feel, don't think. And you don't want to drop the combo. Even if the combo is not optimal, if you finish the combo, it puts you in an advantage stage. You know what I mean? Your opponent's still knocked down, and you still have to make them guess again. You know what I mean? That's what's important, is the momentum. So, that's our first two fundamentals. Our third fundamental is going to be developing a game plan. Having any kind of game plan is better than having no game plan at all. It's a lot more easier than you think. Essentially, like, okay, we're playing Juri here. We have to play Juri like she's Juri. We can't play Juri like she's Dulcim. We can't play Juri like she's Zangief. You know what I mean? We can't play Juri like she's Manon or Kimberly. We have to play Juri like she's Juri. And there's no problem with that. That's why we picked Juri. The way to look at it is like characters in Street Fighter are like chess pieces. You know how a chess piece has its set, like a rook has to move vertically and horizontally. It can't go any other direction. A bishop has to go diagonal. It can't go any other direction. These are two very strong pieces. They cover a lot of ground. They do different jobs than each other, though, and the other one, by definition, cannot do the other one's job for them. They have to do their own job, and they're the only piece that can do their own job. Same thing with Street Fighter. So we want to figure out how our character moves, if they move like a rook, like a bishop, what a Juri does. And once we figure that out, then we want to develop our game plan on how we're going to get our damage with this character, essentially. I give you guys 3 starter deck game plans, a little bit far down below. I'll go into detail on them at the end of this video, too. And I'll also show you how to come up with your own game plans. But it's important because, like I said, we want to be able to fall back. I call them my starter deck game plans, the ones that I give you for this video, because they are very simple. You know what I mean? I don't want to, like I said, I'm not trying to complicate things for you guys, and you don't need to complicate things to get to master rank. That's the point I'm trying to prove, is that anyone can do it. Don't need anything fancy, and I call them my starter deck game plans because they're really as basic as they can get. They're like, yeah, if you ever heard about Yu-Gi-Oh, there's the Seto Kaiba and the Yu-Gi-Moto starter decks. They were the very first ones that came out. They were you know, you get your rule book, you get your playmat, and then there's a big monster right on the front cover of the starter deck. There's a Blue Eyes White Dragon, and it's like, that's what I want. I want to summon my Blue Eyes White Dragon, and I want to blow his ass away. That's how I'm going to win my game. You know what I mean? We're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to get our easy peasy game plans, and that's going to be how we want to win. Lastly, the fourth and final rule, our most important rule, of course. If you're going to take anything away from this guide, take away the 20 and 5 rule. If you're serious about improving, use the 25 rule. Every 20 minutes, after every 20 minutes, you take a 5-minute break. You get up, you stretch, you drink some water, you take a break. You know, we've all established, if you've been around this channel long enough, what I like to do is I like to get up, stretch, drink some water, and I find some dancing butts on YouTube, dude. I don't care if it's classic dancing butts like Britney Spears. I don't care if it's new dancing butts like Sabrina Carpenter. I watch dancing butts as often as I possibly can, and you should too, because it brings a smile to my face in this desolate world we call Earth. This horrible place. Just look at dancing butts, put a smile on your face. But no, I digress. The 20 and 5 rule, so it helps improve learning efficiency. By that, I mean your brain needs time to marinate information. You cram information in this 20 minutes. If you ever try learning an instrument and you try cramming information in your brain about like playing a Metallica guitar part or something, and after an hour of practicing, you can't even like do what you first started practicing with, and you get frustrated, so you put your guitar down. But then you come back after a break, pick your guitar back up, and you start playing that part, and you can play like all the parts that you were practicing now after you gave it a little time to marinate. You know, your brain needs time to absorb this information. What happens is this is how you develop grooves in your brain, is you have to give it time. First, you hammer the information in. Then you give it time to marinate. Then you hammer more information. You give it time to marinate. And it's like digging a little trench in your brain, developing this groove of muscle memory and firing off synapses to your nerve system. And that's how you develop and absorb information. It's also really good for studying. I've had a lot of people in my comments, because I've recommended it. This is how I get through college. I'm a horrible student. Just remembered that I have homework that I haven't finished, so that's great. Hopefully I can still do that. But yeah, I'm a terrible student, but I still get good grades and stuff because I grind it out 20 minutes at a time whenever I have to study something, whenever I have to do homework. I do 20 minutes, 5-minute break, 20 minutes, 5-minute break. And it's a lot more efficient than cramming because when you cram, you start falling asleep, you start forgetting, can't do that. And if you do the 25 rule, you won't do that. It also helps avoid tilting. You've heard so many people talk about tilt cue. So many people talk about, rage while playing video games, punching holes in the walls, throwing their cat at their neighbor, driving an ice cream truck through an open post office. You know what I mean? That's not me. I didn't do that. I've never done that. I'm not in jail right now for Grand Theft ice cream truck. Y'all crazy. But yeah, it helps you avoid tilt because trust me, after that 20 minutes, you might be tight, dude. You might be like, oh, that Dulcim and his teleports. I'm going to get that son of a bitch. But then after you take a 5-minute break, you come back and it's like, whatever. I'm going to go play some more. Or it's happened to me all the time. Like I'll lose or something. I'm like, I'm not even watching that replay because I played so bad. I'm just like so salty. I'll take a 5-minute break, then come back. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll watch that replay. And it wasn't as bad as I thought. You know what I mean? Because in the heat of the moment, you're going to be pissed off. You know what I mean? You just got to give yourself a little time to cool off. And it's also really important for your mental health. I preach this all the time because we have established that I'm a crazy person. I still use Internet Explorer, dude. That's how fucking crazy I am. I bet none of you guys can handle that. But yeah, dude, like I literally, like I should be wrapped. I should be in a padded cell hanging upside down. You know what I mean? Like a fucking bat, wrapped up in a straitjacket. Like I should be locked away. That's how crazy I am. But I'm not. And that stinks to the 20 and 5 rule because every 20 minutes I take a 5-minute break. And what I mean by that is like we've all been guilty of playing like 8-hour sessions of video games before, you know what I mean? Like 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever, long sessions of video games. And by the end of it, we feel like pieces of crap, you know what I mean? We're like, oh no, what did I do? You know what I mean? I wasted my whole day playing video games. But if you waste your whole day playing video games, but every 20 minutes you get up, stretch, drink some water, and take some deep breaths, and then you get back in there after 5 minutes, you're going to feel a lot better about yourself because you're like, hey, I played video games today because it makes me happy, but I also looked out for my mental health, and I made sure I stayed hydrated. I got up, stretched, and take some deep breaths, and I took care of my mental health in that little time, which is, it's not a lot, but it's something, and something is better than nothing, and something becomes something bigger the more you do it. If you have the discipline to do this, it'll grow bigger and bigger, and it'll go into the rest of your life, you know what I mean? That's one little thing for your mental health could turn into next day, you're making healthier choices whenever you're eating, or you start working out, you know what I mean? It all starts with one thing, you know what I mean? And that's where we got to start with the 20 and 5 rule. So trust me, use the 20 and 5 rule. Now that we've covered our 4 key fundamentals, I'm just going to talk about the drive system, the system mechanics in Street Fighter real quick. So we have drive gauge, drive impact, drive parry, drive reversal, drive rush, and overdrive. Other mechanics that every character share will be like throw and jump. But we're going to mainly focus on the drive system here. And the reason for that is because Street Fighter 6 does this very much on purpose with the drive system. Essentially, if you're having trouble with a matchup or a move or something that's happening to you in Street Fighter 6, like let's say like Jamie keeps hitting you and you're like, I never know when my turn is. Or Kimberly puts you in the corner and you're like, wait a minute, I never get a turn again. She literally gets to do whatever the hell she wants. Odds are, if you look at this list and you go down the list, you'll find an answer for what's giving you trouble in the drive system. The game pretty much does it for us. Every character has their own specific things they can do as well. But outside of the specific things every character can do, every character has access to the drive system. So like Kimberly puts you in the corner. Let's go down to let's drive gauge. Okay, she's chipping at my drive gauge. I don't want to burn out. So let's see what we can do to not burn out. Drive impact. Okay, I got a lucky hit with drive impact, but it never worked again because now she's thinking about it. You know what I mean? Now she's got it in the back of her mind. So now she just, every single time I try to drive impact and while I'm in the corner, she drive impacts. So she counter drive impacts me and I die. So yeah, that's worked before, but it's not a good option necessarily to go to. Drive parry. Drive parry seems good here. She can't chip away my drive gauge. She can throw me though. She can bait me with the throw. But sometimes I can get the perfect parry in the corner And then I could throw her back in the corner. I got space. Okay, we'll put a little check mark next to drive parry. That seems to work against her strike options, not her throw options. Drive rush? Does drive rush work here? Not when she's right in my face, though. There's no way I could drive rush. But whenever I get a little bit of space, if I could press a pretty quick move, like one of my medium buttons, and then drive rush cancel out of it, now I'm out in the corner. Okay, we'll put another check mark next to that. Oh, drive reversal. Kimberly's got me in a corner and I'm blocking all her stuff, and I use 2 bars to use drive reversal to get her off of me, put her mid-screen, and reset the situation. Put a gold star next to that one, baby. You need drive reversal versus Kimberly in that matchup. Pretty much every character, otherwise they're just going to run you down. Regular reversals work too, but drive reversals just seems to be harder for her to bait, harder for her to expect a lot of the time. You want to mix up your options, but drive reversal is very good in that matchup, especially when you're in the corner. We're going to put a check mark next to her. And then overdrive is just special moves. If we have access to EX reversals, you could always, you know, if you get the right read, you could bust out, get out of jail. You know what I mean? This was very intuitive when the game first came out, because like how I just used Kimberly as an example. When the game first came out, Honda, we all thought he was the dumbest character that's ever been made. We thought his design was terrible. Nobody really thinks his design's great now. I think it's gotten a little bit better over the past couple patches. But whenever he first came out, and it was nothing but headbutts and butt slams, and we were like, really the only counterplay to this is perfect parrying his headbutt and his butt slams. We all thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. We're like, why do we have to do this? It's so stupid. But then we all labbed it, you know, and played some Hondas. And you really, really learn early on that the headbutt and the butt slam are 2 of the easiest moves to perfect parry in the game. Like, the window's pretty massive to perfect parry those moves. If you haven't yet practiced it, take it into training mode and make him just record it and do it over and over again, and then put it on a loop and just practice perfect parrying them. It's one of the easiest moves to perfect parry in the game. It's easier to perfect parry Honda headbutt and butt slam than it is to do the basketball minigame that's in the arcade mode of this. The story mode, whatever. There's a little basketball minigame where you parry the basketballs. That shit's harder to do than perfect parrying Honda's headbutt and butt slam. Trust me. Once we learned that, we're like, man, Honda sucks. The character's baloney. But trust me, the drive system, that's what it's there for. If something's giving you trouble, go lab it, take it to training mode, and go over to drive system. Odds are you're going to find something that's going to be an answer to it. So that's why I have that. Next, we have our BMBs for Juri. Juri, I keep it real simple. You know, Juri's got real easy BMBs for us. 3 crouching light punches into her medium charge, a standing medium punch into crouching medium punch into charge, etc., etc. After drive reversal, she could get a stand medium punch into stand heavy punch because it's punish counter, into heavy charge into uppercut. Great damage there. Decent corner carry. Yeah, I'll have the BMBs, the bread and butters. They'll be on the screen in this video. They might have already been on the screen. Probably have already been on the screen. But I'll have annotations on the screen as well, just so you can follow along. But this, oh, I forgot to mention that this typed up written guide is also in the description. So you could reference back to this whenever you want. It's all there for you in a Google Doc, or you could come back to this video if you want more in-depth information. But yeah, the BMBs will be on the screen with annotations, but there's also the typed up written guide in the description for you to reference whenever you want. And yeah, like I said, I keep it real easy. And then I have the, what do you call it? The level 1, pretty much after heavy charge is when you want to use that. Great for corner carry. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. The level 3 is the same thing. She could cancel it off of her special moves, so that's why she gets a lot of damage. Her level 2 is where things will get a little bit more complicated. You could do it after normals. Instead of going into a special move, you can cancel into this and go into it. Or you could do her EX quarter circle forward kicks and cancel into the level 2 to burn drive gauge, which does a lot of drive gauge damage. I might have a combo on the screen for Juri. Annotations will be a little bit more complicated. I'll give you guys one combo, I guess, but I don't think, you know what, honestly, no, I won't. I'll have one on the screen if you guys want to practice it yourself, but as a how-to day 1 Juri guide, I don't recommend learning feng shui combos on day 1 unless you've already had experience in this video game. So I'm going to call that sauce. I'm going to say that counters my number 2 fundamental for basic execution. And we're not going to focus on the level 2 super for this guide. If I do it in one of my next videos, it's just going to be on X. It's just going to be muscle memory. But yeah, maybe I'll try to show you guys something easy, but it's a little bit, it's not that difficult, but it is just more complicated, and I don't want you guys focusing on stuff like that whenever it's how to day one. Okay, now we're on to our starter decks. So how I come up with my starter decks, how I figure out what I need to be doing with my character to win games, is I watch pro player replays. And if you guys look at the typed up written guide that was at the beginning of this video, and it's also in the description, I have game one is Punk versus Nephew. I'll have the match on the screen for you as well in this video. It might be on the screen right now. It might be at the end of the video. You know what I mean? But it's going to be in here eventually. But if you look at the typed up guide, I go play by play. Every single thing that happens in this match, I write down. Like NBA, playoffs, MLB. I write down everything that happens in this match. Play by play. Walk up, crouch, medium kick. Punk jumps and he gets hit by a crosscut. You know what I mean? Literally every single thing that happens in this match I write down so I can learn where the damage is coming from, what my pro player, in this case Nephew, what he's doing to get his damage. You know what I mean? I write it all down, baby. Every single thing. Everything that happens, I write down. Crouch, medium, punch, whiff, the stand heavy kick as his opener. You know, if you follow along, you'll see what I'm doing. And the reason why I do this is I get all their damage. I figure out what the hell they're doing, what's working for them. And then once I have that information, I go make my game plans down below. So our game plan number one, I use pretty much the same for every single character. I call it the pop quiz. You want to pop quiz your opponents and see. It's not our job necessarily to do their homework for them. Like what I was saying before about like the drive system, that's homework, you know. If something's giving you trouble, you need to figure that out yourself, you know what I mean? And if they don't know how to deal with any of these things that I have written down, fireball, drive rush, crouch, medium kick, drive rush, raw drive rush, throw loops, Juri stand heavy punch is amazing, her jump is amazing, you know. Do they have an answer for any of this stuff? I'm going to go down the list, jumping at them, throwing fireballs and drive rushing at them. I'm going to go down this list. And if they don't have an answer for any of this stuff, I'm going to abuse it versus them. Because like I said, that's technically helping them. Because if they figure out an answer for it in match, then I go to the next thing. Then I figure something else out. But if they don't have an answer for one of these things, I'm going to abuse it. Because like I said, it's not my job to do their homework for them. You got to pop quiz them, you know. And if they fail the pop quiz, then you win the round. You know what I mean? So that's the first thing I'll be testing on these opponents. Once you get to higher levels, you really be pop quizzing people anymore because you're going to believe that they know what the hell they're doing. And you don't really want to take any risks because one single risk can lead to literally the end of the round in high level matches. But at the beginning, you definitely want to be pop quizzing people to learn their tendencies and such. Outside of that, our second game plan I call Welcome to Street Fighter 6 because Juri is really good at drive rush pressure and throw loops. So Juri consistently uses her drive rush to follow her fireballs, to skip neutral, to pressure opponents, wake up pressure, or extend her combos. Drive gauge is where she gets her damage. She's a very drive gauge hungry character. Unless she has her stocks. Her Fuha charges mean she doesn't have to use drive gauge to get damage in corner carry and meter build. She could use her stocks instead, which is very helpful. It does a lot of damage. And it's access to her best tools. Drive gauge is king with Juri. Basically, her drive gauge is her health bar. It's how she does everything. She needs it for everything, basically. Without drive gauge, she's not a good character. And yeah, she uses dry rush optimally. Her EX moves, her OD fireball is very strong. You can walk behind it. People do weird stuff. And then basically, yeah, you wanna just do this stuff until you get into the corner. And then her corner pressure, Juri has very strong throw loops and meaty normals with her heavy punch into fireballs. I did say the heavy punch was really good above. Real easy to keep your opponent locked down in a corner, chip away their drive gauge, pressure them, and when they jump out, she's got her uppercut, which is a good option to thwart their escape. So yeah, you really want to get them in the corner with Juri and then kill them while they're there. That's, I mean, a lot of characters in this game want to do that. But yeah, you just got to keep fireball, dry rush, throw loops, you know what I mean, Street Fighter 6. Our game plan 3 is Juri's supers are all really good. Juri's corner carry by itself is kind of ass. It's really, a lot of people don't think about it, but yeah, her corner carry is not spectacular outside of her super. She really needs her level 1 to get that corner carry. All her supers have really good utility. So her corner carry isn't great, but if you use level 1, it's going to send your opponent full screen across the screen. So you could really get a lot of corner carry with that. You'll see me just in combos a lot with this just to get my opponent in the corner because, like I said, that's where Juri really could just lay the pressure down. A lot of characters in this game, you know what I mean? They want to get you to the corner and throw loop you and pressure you. But that's why you'll see me use Juri's level 1 just to push him to the corner. So there, I can do that. Her level 2, again, is really good for utility. A lot of people think it's for these anime combos, but at a higher level, it's best for, what do you call it, to chip away opponent's drive gauge, because even on block, it does a ton. But on hit, on punish counter, you could do like 3 bars of drive gauge damage with it if you end into drive impact. Once they're in burnout, she has really easy corner carry options. Just with her looping buttons. And if they're already in the corner, she has double overhead into low. She has a lot of mix-up options. So yeah, level 2 is very strong, and it is a lot of potential in this character. I don't know what all I'm going to have on the screen for level 2. I can show you guys some simple stuff, but like I said, I don't want to complicate it. You really don't need level 2 at all to get to master rank, so I don't think I'm going to go very much in depth in this guide into level 2. But we will later on, because I will be playing more Juri matches after this guide, just to, you know, for more videos, and you guys could see my main in action and see me sweating and getting my ass kicked against better players than me. And lastly, her level 3 can whiff punish your opponent's dreams. This special is really good. It's got really far reach. You could combo into it. That's going to be where you're doing it most of the time is in combos. But to punish fireballs, you can do it about 3/4 of the screen away. It reaches very far, man. And it'll punish the fireball. It goes into full animation, so if there's anything on the screen you don't want to deal with, it'll take care of that too. And it does good damage. Juri does decent damage. If she has drive gauge and Fuha stock, she can do good damage. But outside of that, that is our Juri guide. It took us a little while to chip away through it. Finally got here. Finally, this is our last character in the How Did They Want to Master series. I hope that I taught you something in this guide, but don't worry. I'm going to go into placements next and show you guys all this information I just crammed into your brain in action and show you how I use this guide to apply to my matches and show you guys how to get to master rank with my current favorite character in the game. Let's cross our fingers for Makoto, you know what I'm saying? But until then, I am the Depressed Gamer. I need you all to be good to yourselves. Please like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate every single one. The likes and the comments help get the video, you know, flowing around left to right and right to left and getting it in the hands of people like Mike Tyson so he can learn how to play Juri and stop punching people so hard because he's getting old and he needs to take a break and he needs to start kicking people with Juri. You know what I'm saying? Taekwondo, bro. Got to keep on struggling, people. I know it's hard out there for all of us, but it ain't going to get easier, and there ain't no getting off of this train till we at the end of the line, baby. So we got to keep on struggling. There ain't no stopping. There ain't no stopping us. And I will see you in the placements.